Let's jump onto the transformation now. Here is the power, the power of AI. What AI is already doing. Okay. And we all should understand that this is already getting done by AI. If we are not doing it, we are lagging behind. Okay. It's not that, okay, we know AI can do, but if you are not implementing or if you are not doing this, you are really, running in the history, So what AI can do? AI can analyze any amount of data which you give, and it will analyze and recommend, as I told you, what are the optimal decisions at much faster pace. Though I am saying 40%, but I have literally seen, it can really help me like 60 to 70% faster, in faster making decisions. Risk detection, you just provide AI all the details. Let's say I have a scope of work, I have a progress report, I have my current status. I have everything. I have provided the human resource. I provided certain other challenges. And even if you have not provided something, let's say if I just tell AI, hey, go do a search on the web, check if any macroeconomical scenario has changed, whether there is any risk that I am carrying right now. And imagine someone who is going browsing hundreds of sites, hundreds of data, news articles, and then coming back and telling you that, hey, these are some of the risks which you should be looking at. Can humanly we do this? It's not possible as a human, and even if it is possible, it will take you a team of people to do this, and that also we don't know if they'll be right or wrong. But AI is able to do this within seconds and with 100% accuracy. Okay. Cost prediction. Trust me, before couple of years, if you would have come and asked me, hey Viral, can AI really, work with the numbers? And then I would have said, maybe, maybe at times, maybe it gives result, but most of the time it was giving wrong numbers. In last 2 years, and specifically in the last 6 months, with the release of the latest models from Anthropic and OpenAI and Gemini, the amount of correct or the right data that you get from these tools is enormous. You can really trust it. At least you can trust that it would have not made some of the basic mistakes that some of the freshers would make, and it will still give you a much more detailed insight which you can expect only from a good project manager or a good CA or a finance person. So it is able to actually analyze a lot of areas, a lot of touch points, and give you a very detailed cost prediction. And it's almost correct. I have seen that the accuracy is almost 85 to 90%. I'll never say 100% with AI. We all have to understand that there will be those 5 to 10% deviations which we have to do, right? Because we are still human. We should be ensuring that we are validating that. But 80% to 90% of your work is getting done by AI. If you are doing meeting scheduling yourself, traditional way, checking the calendars, asking people when are you available, please stop doing this from today itself. There are a lot of tools which are available which will schedule meetings. So please don't do that manual work. It's a matter of history. If you are doing reporting yourself, if you are generating reports, if you are manually selecting whom should I send those reports, hey, should I send this report today or later, whatever you are doing, you should ensure that you are not doing it manually. This all should be automated by now. Okay. Resource match. I'll give you some example on this resource match because this is very key. Let's say whenever you want to assign some resources, it can be any resource, human resource, your budget resource, any kind of resource you want to assign on a particular task. How do you do this, right? Most of the time, people know couple of parameters. Let's say I want to assign a human for a particular task. I know that I have two, three candidate. I know couple of skills, and then I assign. But most of the time, it's based on the gut feeling. But what if I tell you there is a person who knows 50 different parameters, what that task will need for a person to be successful? What are the skill set of the person? What are the external scenarios? What is the workload that person has? What are some other parameters that that person is going through? What is the history? What is that this person, a particular person, has done in the history, and what are his strong points versus what are the areas where he was lagging. And by evaluating more than 50 parameters, if a person, or let's say if this tool is able to assign correct resource for correct amount of time and with the correct way to manage the success or the outcome, then you can imagine, how much benefit that will be for us as a project manager. And that is also possible as we speak today. This is all happening, guys. There's nothing fancy, there's nothing magic, This all is already happening. All the leading organizations are using all these tools to manage their large projects. This is again just a number from PMI itself. 66% of the people have already reported benefits. They are like saving half of their time. So you can imagine, you just, I mean, one way to look at it is I just need to work then 2 hours a day, right? 2 hours a week, sorry, to manage all my work. But that's not what we are going to end up, right? I mean, eventually, if you say, okay, I have automated most of the work, now you feel good about it. But everyone knows, and definitely your leadership knows better, that if first of all, if you are not using this, you are of no use to any organization. If you are using it, you ensure that you are leveraging it and you are managing more work. Because if you don't manage the additional work, there'll be someone else who knows AI, who knows how to use, and then they will start managing it. Okay, let's quickly touch base on a couple of examples. Now, these are the examples which I know personally, which has really, helped the people. So, a predictive analytics and a risk management tool. So, this is what we have already discussed, right? Most of the times you use your past experience to come up with the risk. You do some manual reviews. You spend hours just doing the brainstorming meetings with your team and then verifying, oh, what will happen, what if scenarios, what if I do this versus what I do something else. You prepare 2 3 options for your leadership, that these are some of the ways to mitigate the risk, right? All those things you do manually and then you go and present. This itself takes a lot of time, and by that time maybe the risk itself would have converted into issue. Now imagine all those, even identifying the risk, to generating the what if scenarios, giving the mitigation options for each and every mitigation options, also giving you the analysis of what can go right, what can go wrong, uh, and recommending what is the best option given the scenarios. Now imagine all this is getting done without you scheduling a single meeting. Is it possible? Yes, this is already done. We ourselves have used this in our organization, and trust me, the kind of input that we get is enormous. We would have not got this kind of input even if I would have spent like maybe 5 or 10 hours, deliberating that risk. So this was one of the case study which was published, and yes, they have really analyzed the risk with 50 plus risk indicators. Okay. Transformation, intelligent automation. Now, this, guys, I'm again telling you, if you are doing anything traditionally, preparing the report, let's say working on the Excel, preparing the report, preparing the deck, and again, let's say if I have to send same information, bifurcating or distributing to 10 different stakeholders and customizing those reports specifically for that stakeholders. If you are manually doing that, please stop doing that. There are a lot of tools which are available, and they all will be doing this seamlessly without you even touching your system. You just have to set that automation on. The mails will go, the responses will be logged, and all these things will happen without you spending even a minute once you set this up. So you have to initially set some time and then let that system run into automation mode. I have also given you some of the tools which you can go and start using right now. Now, see, most of these tools, right? Most of these tools provide you a free version. Try it out. If you really feel this tool is suited for you, use it in your organization. If not, try some another tool. There are many tools available. There are some tools which are good, but which comes at a cost. So you have to make that judgment. But yes, I'm always available here. I've tried a lot of tools. If you want, my personal feedback on some of the tools, as well as some other tools which you will not see here in the list, but which are really good, please do reach out to me. Meeting scheduling, we have already discussed. Stakeholder updates. The presentation, right? See, most of the times what happens is whenever you are sending the message, many times you are not aligned even on the status of the message or what kind of information you will share. And the key message sometimes gets lost. Let's say you send this some report to 10 different people, and everyone thinks, right? I mean, this is what typically happens. Everyone thinks, hey, what is that I am supposed to do, right, with this information? Now imagine there's a person who is actually sending this information with a clear cut direction to each and every stakeholder that this is what you need to do, this is the ETA by when you should complete it, this is what will happen if you don't do it, and this will be the impact, if this task does not get complete on time. Imagine this thing someone is doing automatically for you each and every day, each and every after each and every meeting. If someone is doing this automatically for you, you can imagine the amount of efficiency you will gain. So this is what I was saying by, ensuring that you are automating the things. Data entry and all, I'm sure most of you have already started using AI to track, to enter the data, right? Resource optimization, we have already touched base on this. A lot of tools are available, right? Now here, see, I'll give you some idea, right? When I'm talking, let me give you some live example. Let's say there is a resource who has a LinkedIn profile. Let's talk about human resource. Assuming that all the information, our source is correct, the garbage in garbage out concept will apply everywhere, whether it's AI, whether it's your normal day-to-day work, or whether it's in any field, right? Now let's assume that you really know what the person's skill sets are, a very good data set. You also know the history of that person in terms of how that person has done on variety of tasks. You also know his communication style. You also know the soft skills. You also know how that person works under pressure. And when I say means I'm talking about the AI, because AI would have logged all this data over past few months or years, and it has already trained itself on that person. So AI knows very well how that person is going to work or behave in a particular scenario. Now imagine with all this data, there is a new task which is coming, or that there are tasks which you need to assign to a group of people. Now, how you will assign manually, right? Maybe you just check at high level, okay, what are the skill sets, or you ask that people how much bandwidth you have or whatever, right? But imagine that there's someone who knows exactly what is the person workload for next 2 weeks. What are his skill sets? What are the skill sets that this particular task which need to get done will require? I mean, and I'm telling the not only one or two skill set. I'm saying what are those maybe 15 skill set which are needed in terms of completing this task. And imagine the AI tool, giving me a correct prediction that hey, this task should be assigned to this person because this one, two, three, four, five reason. And maybe it is giving me a prediction score also, right? It is saying that AI itself is saying that I'm 90% confident that this person will be able to do the task, versus AI itself saying that for this task, I'm not much confident, maybe 50% confident that this person will be able to do, but we still have to provide some additional help to this person. Okay. So AI is not blindly saying it will give you that insight also. AI will tell you that yes, I'm 90% confident, I'm 50% confident, I'm 30% confident that this task will be done by that person. So imagine all this is happening without you spending a minute. Okay. Decision intelligence. And this, I'm sure you people have used a lot of AI tools, but you should try. And if you have not tried different models, one exercise which I'm telling you should do is ask your same business statement, same business problem or use case. You ask all the different models. You ask OpenAI model, you ask Gemini model, you ask Anthropic model, and you will understand the kind of difference that each and every model is giving you. In fact, within each and every provider, so let's say Gemini, or you say OpenAI, most of the people might be using ChatGPT, right? ChatGPT itself has different models. 5.1 is the latest, but within 5.1 there are fast answer models, there are deep thinking models, there's model 5, there's 4.0, there are different models, and each model might give you a different response. The models can also give a different response if you ask different question, same question different times. If I ask one question today, it can give me one response. If you ask same question tomorrow, it might give you a different response. But the key here is more or less the response will be on a similar line, and it's up to you to ensure that at least you are keeping that eye whether the things are going right or wrong. Okay. So again, this decision intelligence is already built in for any numerical calculations or any serious financial analysis. I still suggest you go and try Anthropic if you have not used that. Those responses were very good, at least based on my understanding or based on my experience. Okay, so all those things eventually will end up increasing your ROI. Now, this percentage can vary, but you can imagine that there's a huge improvement in the way we manage the products. Okay, and what this will do eventually, from firefighting mode to strategic execution, right? We typically, as a project managers, many people I have seen, they typically run into the firefighting mode. Okay, oh, this has happened. Sorry, let me address this. Let me address this. And they get very less time. Maybe if they spend extra time, then they get that time, maybe late at night, early morning, you start thinking, okay, what are the strategical things that I need to take care of? Where I should invest time? What should I do to, prevent this particular issue or this scenario in future? So those strategic thinking you get very less time during your normal 10 hours or 8 to 10 hours of work in the office. But with this, you will be able to get much more time and you will move from that firefighting mode to a execution mode.